Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor 48, episode 11. Mary finally met her end.
She could not catch a break, that one.
No.
Last bullet standing, but not for
enough.
too long.
No.
All right, we're going to talk all about it. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment. Please do. We love it when people support us on Patreon.
Well, don't we?
We do a lot. So we're coming back to camp, right? Starships been eliminated.
Night 19, coming back.
They're at final 7.
Yeah.
Congrats to Mary most of all, because she's lasted one more day.
Right.
You know, and I think that is valid. Congrats to Mary. Like, she is playing a game of like, just get me one more day, and then we'll figure it out the next day.
Yeah. And it's like they almost try to figure it out immediately. Like, can you imagine the brain waves that are like, I worked so hard to like save myself at this tribal, and we all just voted this out, right? And now we come back and we're like, so why don't you guys keep me for the next vote and we'll get Joe out? Like it is non-stop.
Day you are on the bottom trying to scrape your way out.
Yeah. And like all of those people were just saying, this is the plan, this is the plan, this is the plan. And then they come back and they're like, how about this is the next plan? Like, it's just, I wouldn't sustain. I couldn't do it.
I am really, truly in awe of how Mary was sort of able to keep herself going as long as she did. And she's frustrated. And she actually like sort of reiterated in your exit interview what she's saying here, where she's like, I get close to people, they go home.
Right.
Stephanie, Kevin, David, Star. And like every time I have half an ally, suddenly they're voted out of the game. I cannot get my foot in the door here.
I didn't realize she was that close to Star, but she told me in our interview that they had a final 3.
Wow.
Guess who the third was? I ain't gonna tell you. You gotta watch the video. I was like, that was a final 3? Okay. Yeah, so Mary's obviously pitching to Camilla. Hey, keep me, let's go for Joe.
Right away, she's pitching. I'm like, I would be exhausted.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I'd be like, I'm gonna sleep on that.
She's like, I gotta pitch for you.
Yeah.
I know I'm the vote again.
Right.
But keep me as a number. Use me to take your shot at Joe and Eva.
And like she talks to Mitch too. And Mitch is like, yeah, no, for sure. Like we've got it. I was like, Mitch, literally 5 minutes ago before this tribal, you were like, no.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you now? Like, it's gotta be done.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, they need to get Kyle or Shaheen to flip ultimately if they're going to take this shot at Joe and Eva. But the sense is, which I think is interesting, within the game, they're saying Joe's going to run away with it.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like Eva's running away with it.
Well, because she has the advantages.
Yeah. Yeah. But regardless, they know that duo has to be broken up. But it's like, how do you do that? And then
they know that duo has to be broken up.
What do you mean?
Well, they don't do it.
They don't do it because they can't.
I put it in quotes. It's
yeah. Right. That's never going to happen. Despite the editor's best efforts to convince us that it might. It will never happen.
Never seen it.
So the next morning, Joe is talking about how much he loves the 4 and how he wants to take the hardest path to victory because that is how you prove that you're the best, which is a sort of school of logic that I will never understand.
Never.
I'm like, if you eliminate the best third into the game, you still beat them.
Yeah.
I don't have to save them to the end.
No, if you take out the best at any time, you have beat them. I don't understand that either. We have heard this before, but it's just not something I get. But he would like his kids to play this way. So he's going to do it.
Kyle is sort of questioning his own position in the 4.
Yeah.
Is he on the bottom? Can he beat Joe? And then we see Mary pitching Kyle.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make it seem like this is the moment where Kyle's maybe going to bite or he's going to take the bait because he's questioning his own position within the 4.
Yeah, but it seems like he's just telling us that he's like thinking about Joe in the end, but he's not going to let Mary know that. He's not close enough with her.
There's a deep mistrust of Mary, which I kind of get because she's been all over the place.
Yeah, she has named everybody and to save herself.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving her any vital information. That's true.
Yeah. So then Mary's pissed because no one is giving her the time of day. So she's like, the last thing I can do is chop up the final coconut at camp.
She is beating that coconut with whatever, the machete or whatever it was. And like getting out her frustrations, that's fair. I get that.
I love it.
Now, Eva doesn't love it.
Well, Eva's like, isn't that, thanks for the coconut, but isn't this the last one? And Mary's like, yep. She is spiteful. And Eva's like, we're not going to have any food for the rest of the time. And Mary's like, nope. But guess what? Y'all are probably going to get a reward. That's who's not. Me. Yes. So I'm going to eat this.
Fair. Look, I see both sides to this because I understand like camp etiquette, coconut etiquette.
Yeah.
But how dare you, who's been on every single reward?
Oh, are you hungry?
Tell me, who can like barely get invited anywhere.
Yeah.
That I should have saved the coconut. Zip that.
I'd be like, I actually should be eating this in secret. I shouldn't be sharing it with you because you're probably full on all the food that you've eaten at every single reward. But then Eva like takes that information, goes and gossips to everybody. And Camilla's like, girl, you are hurting your case here. I'm trying to work with you. But bad coconut etiquette? You're making it hard.
And it's like, it's just the time, like they were already going to vote her out.
Already.
But they will grasp at anything to be like, oh, this is our excuse.
You know what? We were right.
She ate the
She
coconut.
does have to go.
Yeah. Alexandra, thank you for the super chat and for standing.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So then we get to day 20.
Day 20.
Excuse me.
Excuse you.
Kyle and Camilla, whose secret alliance really has nothing to show for it at this point. I don't know when they're going to use it to its full effect. But they're off having their little private conversation. And Kyle's like, would Mary really work with us? And Camilla's like, what else is she going to do?
Right? She's got
She literally has no choice.
Yeah.
And in this segment, I was like, oh my God, is this Camilla's moment? Because Camilla has played it so cool this entire season and has kind of like sat by as Kyle has not prioritized her. And she's just kind of like, well, hopefully I'm like staying out of the crossfire. But I'm like, has she found her moment? Because she kind of has this glimmer in her eye. Like, oh, the seed that I planted is like finally blooming with Kyle. And then we get this confessional from him where he's like, I have to betray somebody. I don't want to. He's crying. Turns out he's not going to betray anybody in this episode. So I don't know when he's actually going to betray somebody. He's
really got himself all worked up about possibly betraying somebody at some point in this game.
But not going to be today.
Ain't going to be today.
No. Then we get a boat.
Yeah. Oh, before we get the boat, though, we just like slip in so slightly the Shaheen segment, which is basically echoing the same thing of like, he's like, I can't believe I'm here. I know I'm going to have to betray someone. I don't want to betray. We're all so close and tight. And like, that was it. And I was like, wait, what is this edit? I was like, what is the edit trying to tell me?
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. And it was the whole like boys fishing thing. I was like, they really had nothing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They had to do like a 3-minute segment on them fishing.
Right. Early days, I'd have been like, great, love it. Now I'm like, what are you
Move on, get to the game. Yeah. So the boat comes up. Eva sprints out of the hammock. She gets the purple rock. And I'm like, eye roll.
No, time out. She cheated.
Tell me.
I don't know. But I saw her with a bag saying, all right, everyone pick. She picked last. And I was like, that girl in there
held on to the purple rock.
Her little purple and made it happen. I'm convinced.
Wow. I literally was like, I did not go into this rock draw thinking that Mary was going to get the rock. I was like, we would not be so lucky.
No.
But the fact that Eva got it, Eva, no shade. You have enough.
You've got plenty.
You don't need to go on this journey.
You were not the one we wanted to go.
Yeah.
No, but she's of course so excited.
Yeah.
And everyone is just relieved that it's blocking from Mary. Right. Basically, they don't want Mary.
They're relieved.
They literally were like, does anyone want to go? Mary's like, yeah. And they were like, well, I think we should pull rocks.
Well, I'd go too. So I think we should pull rocks. So Eva goes and does the easiest challenge of all time. They really need to like put some more resources into developing these journey challenges because watching her build this 4-story tile tower by moving something with her foot was not exciting.
Well, it could have been exciting had it been anyone other than Eva.
Right. And
That's
they would
the
have had
problem.
a purpose to go to for the knowledge is power.
Producer fail on this. Once they saw Eva drew that purple rock, you got to go to the journey and you got to change the game because, which they just don't do on this show,
Mm-mm.
because anyone else would have tried to go higher than the 4 levels.
Yeah.
Right? That's when it gets hard.
Yeah.
And she had no motivation, no need to go higher than 4. Would have been ridiculous for her. You just go to 4, which seemed pretty easy.
I also
get your vote back. Great.
I'm not fully faulting the producers because I'm faulting some of the other players in the game. You should have flushed Eva's idol by now.
100%.
You let her sit there with these advantages
not.
So she doesn't need to add anything else to her arsenal, which I just can't believe. So it's no problem for her to build this 4-person thing.
100%. Producers are like, we will try to get someone to out her advantage since no one is going to do it on their own.
Yeah.
And boom, she palms that purple rock.
I know.
Swear to you.
So she saves her vote, starts to go for the 5th level of the thing, and then is like, let me not be greedy. I don't need this. Haha, I'm all powerful. Goes back to camp. And is like, get this.
Get this.
I could have played for the knowledge is power, but as if I need it. Y'all need that. So I don't even need to go for that. What a stupid risk for me to take. What am I going to do? Play it on myself? Give me a break. I'm like, Eva.
That lack of reading the room really shows.
Everyone's
right
like, yeah, okay.
And
cool.
like, yeah, you're 100% right. You are being completely honest and no need to not be honest. But if she had the ability to read the room, she might have sugarcoated it a little bit.
Then she goes over and she's like, sorry about that, Mary. I know you really wanted that. And Mary's like, no worries.
Yeah. Would have been nice.
Would have been nice, but
didn't get it.
You got it. So great.
Mm-hmm.
So then Mary, not giving up. She's
No.
going to pitch Shaheen.
Yeah.
Who else can I talk to?
Talk to them all.
Keep me. Blindside Joe and Eva. It's the same thing for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the right pitch, I think. Like somebody just needs to buy it.
Had to do it.
And he's tempted, he tells us, to exercise power and sit in the driver's seat. But he's too scared to sit in the driver's seat.
But he says something interesting is that people perceive Joe to take this game, but he doesn't think Joe can win over him. He thinks he can win.
I'm not saying it.
Well, that's the danger of being in the game.
Yeah.
Is that you may think that you have all of this better than another player. That doesn't mean the jury sees it that way, because perception is reality out there. So if the perception is Joe's running away with it, then that is the reality. And Joe said to the end, maybe he does win because that's what everyone's been saying for so long. So that's a real dangerous thought.
Yeah. And I was kind of surprised that Mary didn't, at least we didn't see her do this. She didn't quite go as far as to say to Shaheen, look, if I end up on the jury, I'm voting for Joe. No shade. Well, I'm just being honest with what I see. And I think the rest of the jury would do the same. Like, we didn't see her kind of put that fear in Shaheen, not in like a threatening way, but just in a like, this is how I see it. Joe's got it. So if you want to have a chance, and I think you could, but just not next to, you could have a chance sitting next to me, but you don't have it next to Joe.
It's a dangerous pitch.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes we've seen people try that and it's come off threatening before. But for some reason, I was like, I don't know why Mary's not playing this card in this moment with Shaheen, because it's like actually quite true from where I sit as a viewer. But we're going to go to immunity plus reward.
Day 21, immunity plus reward. This is going to be a wheelbarrow with a vase. Then we're going to stack a second vase as we're going over like balance beaming
obstacles
things. And we're going to end with an arch puzzle. Which I was like, an arch puzzle by yourself without someone else to help hold that?
We've seen that before.
Have we?
Yeah.
I'm sure we have. But it seems hard.
It is. It's been incredibly hard historically. So the reward is like sushi, teriyaki, noodles, iced tea, chocolate cake. They're very excited. Eva's like, yum, yum. I can't wait to eat that.
Yeah.
And the wheelbarrow, Mary actually takes kind of a lead initially with the wheelbarrow over these first obstacles. But then once we get to the like sort of twisty, turny balance beam. She falls behind. Ultimately, Shaheen is first to the puzzle.
Yeah, he's going to get to the puzzle first. Then Mitch is right behind him.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to eventually get to the puzzle except for Mary.
Mary's last.
Mary never makes it to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Jeff is going to say repeatedly, it has to be the same on both sides. And the way I saw, no one but Camilla check both sides.
I know. And what is smart about this word is the double T's, unforgettable. So if you're looking at the double T's on one side, it looks in the right order. But if you look on the other side, that's where the letters get out of order, is with the double T's.
What did Joe say? Something fun betrayal. So fun betrayal.
Lord, I was like, do you know how to spell?
But the phrase is so fun betrayal.
So fun betrayal. Not spelled right.
But not even spelled right. Betrayal is got a Y.
It was like when, sorry to cross-pollinate shows, but when Melinda and Erica went up with that deciphering thing, and they're like NZIO3, and he was like, it's actually about God,
it's
the
like
spirit of God being within
passage.
you. It's it was way off.
It was that, but that was hilarious.
But he was just like, look, I did the thing. And Jeff's like, no, those are not words that I'm looking for. Camilla has the right word. You can see her building unforgettable from the back to the front. Yes, betrayal. Thank you, Dreadful Ruby.
Yeah, from the beginning, she's got unforgettable going on both sides.
And no one
Kyle
seems to
be cheat. He's the one who
does he cheat?
Yeah.
I was wondering how he got it.
But he's going to spell it wrong. He says
because it's the double T's.
Unforgettable.
Yeah, but he has it right on his side where he's looking at it. But then it's the double T's are flipped. So it says like unforgettable. Yeah, exactly. It like swaps the two letters.
Oh, you think it was correct on one side?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he had it right, but then the two T's, the reverse side of those two T's were swapped. So all he needed to do was swap the two T's and he would have been done.
Oh.
But he, like you said, we hear, and it was a little bit of like ADR added in later of Jeff being like, you got to check both sides when Kyle is like struggling. I'm sure he said it multiple times.
But he did
person.
say it at first when they like start running up. He said,
but I don't think right after Kyle gets a bad check, Jeff is immediately going to say, you got to check both sides. Like that's giving it away what the issue is for Kyle. But they are reiterating that for us at home.
Somebody says it to Kyle too. Somebody, it was a female, so it was Eva probably.
Yeah.
Was like,
she did. Yes.
Was like, Kyle checked both sides.
Yes.
We don't get it in the edit that he checks, but anyway.
Because he's kind of just like looking. Meanwhile, Camilla drops all of her blocks.
Yeah, she's like so close to having it, drops it all. And I was like, oh, well, there we go.
And that's when Eva's like, check both sides. Well, then somehow we get down to Joe has two pieces left and Camilla's almost done. And it is such a nail biter when they are both on their very last block and Joe actually builds the arch first. The one block at the very end was switched to the wrong side.
But we go so far as Jeff is like, Joe's on the mat. Camilla's on the mat. Joe,
you won.
You got it. Wait, no, you don't.
It was literally the Oscars of like La La Land. No, sorry. Moonlight. Like they crowned the wrong winner.
It was a little quicker than the Oscars.
Yeah.
It took a little too long. Luckily, Jeff was much quicker, but like my heart couldn't handle it because obviously I'm rooting for Camilla, the underdog, to win. And they're both dropped their piece. But Joe's got longer body, so he can like, just grab it. Whereas Camilla's like literally balancing.
She's like bent over backwards.
Trying to get this piece. And she's just a second behind him.
Yep.
But the fact that he had that one little mistake,
and
then we all get to cheer for Camilla.
Yes. We're so happy. She has an amazing moment where she's like, my family told me, don't bother coming here.
Yep.
Here I am, final 7, winning immunity, guaranteed final 6. Like this is a real moment for her. And she has just been right there the whole season, but just not in that majority alliance and not able to do much. So it's just like a great shining moment for her. And I think people are happy for her. Even Mary, who's like devastated. And in the bottom, this is after Camilla has picked Mitch and Eva to go on reward with, which I understand the justification later on. But I was like, are you kidding me? Eva gets to go again. And Mary's crying and she's starving. And she's like, look, I'm happy for Camilla. I understand. It's a really great moment for her. But from where I sit, this effing sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
Yeah. Hi, Lance. Thank you. Yes, it was Eva.
Oh, hi, Lance.
Yeah, I couldn't believe she picked Eva.
Yeah.
I get it though, because I think you want to separate Joe and Eva. You want to make Eva feel comfortable.
I didn't get that initially, but when she says that when they're at reward, I was like, oh yeah, I totally get it. Camilla's prepping to take a shot at Joe.
If you're prepping to take a shot at Joe, you want to make Eva feel comfortable. No need to play any advantages on Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
I'm not making any war against you.
Let's
whatsoever.
be here at reward.
Yeah.
And Eva, you can hear me saying, like, yeah, we're gonna vote for Mary. This is easy.
Of course we're going for Mary. Yeah.
Which,
absolutely.
by the way, they are. But like, you know, they're making it seem like, oh, the Mary thing is a ruse.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is hard to see Mary upset at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Reward feast. Nothing too exciting about this because they're basically just making Eva comfortable.
Yeah. But like also not. Like they're just doing what they're saying.
And also in the category of Eva just being so openly, bluntly honest. She's like, and you guys know I'm going to play that idol, you know, the last time that it's available.
Yeah.
Which of course you would.
Yeah.
And she's like, and if I've won for some reason, I'm going to play it on Joe. Because you guys know that me and Joe.
We're going to go to the final 3 together.
How has this not backfired? How has this not backfired?
I know. We go back to camp. She's like, I know they want me gone.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody says, I know they want me gone, but I'm resilient. And if it seems like I've given up, it's strategy. And I'm like, God bless you. I would not be able to do it. I would just roll over and die if I were her at this point. I'd be like, I did my best. I'm accepting my fate, but they give her a really good edit where it seems like she's never giving up. But the moment really of this back at camp thing is for some reason, Kyle decides to reveal that he's a lawyer to Camilla. He just can't take the lies anymore. And he's got to tell someone the truth.
In hindsight, now that the episode is over, I think this is Kyle being like, I'm once again not going to make a move.
Literally.
But I would like you to have a little nugget to know that I'm still with you, lady.
That I'm not going to betray this for. Yeah. But I'll tell you something that they don't.
Right. Know. Like, I'm still with you. So here's my secret.
Yeah.
But this other stuff we're not doing.
Yeah.
I guess is what it was. Because at the moment I was like, wow, yeah, why are you revealing this to me?
Yeah.
But I would actually say there's 2 other moments here.
Okay.
First off, I loved Shaheen singing in the hammock. So sad. No one is happy at the beginning of this loser collection.
No.
But then Mary says, Joe, I'm voting for you.
Oh, I did love this. She's like, let me just cause a little chaos.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is what people should have done weeks ago. And we've said it. Why don't you write one of their names down and make them a little nervous?
Yeah. And it makes him so nervous.
Because he's not used to that.
No, this is reminiscent of Mary being calm and being like, oh, she's got an idol. Because she's too calm. She's not scrambling. Here, Mary's like, I'm voting for you, Joe. And Joe's like,
very publicly.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wheels a turning. He like starts to panic to the point that like he told Shaheen he might write his name down. And Shaheen's like, I'm sorry, what?
Okay. The way Joe handles this blew my mind. He's like, Shaheen Mitch, get down here. Or is it Kyle?
I think it's Kyle and Mitch
to start
first, and then Shaheen separately.
He's like, Kyle, Mitch, get down here. Here's the deal. Mary said she's going to write my name down. That feels like the behavior of someone who has an idol.
Has an idol. If she plays it, I'm the one vote.
So
that's so true.
It's so true. But then Mitch is like, so what are you suggesting? That one of us gives you permission to write our name?
Yeah.
Who are you writing? I know you're not writing Eva. And I assume you're not writing me or Kyle because we're here. So are you writing Shaheen?
Yeah. And I do love this response. Like, this is fair.
Yes.
But Joe's like, y'all don't hear me. I might go home.
Am I supposed to just roll over? And I'm like, no, but just write a name down secretly.
Well,
you don't need to recruit. You don't need anybody's permission to write somebody else's name down to save yourself.
When has Joe ever done something without his entire
Oh my God.
But when he goes to Shaheen's like, oh, welcome to Survivor.
He's like,
sir.
Twice. People have written down my name and I knew it was going to happen. And I just sat by and trusted that the plan was going to work.
Yeah.
Now
and
you
I'm
can't
still
take
here.
it.
Like, I did not go out.
Yeah.
So
he's like, how loyal are you really, sir?
But
Did that change Shaheen's behavior? No.
Shaheen's face is like, what?
Nobody's going to vote for Joe. Everybody's going to vote for Mary.
They're
trying it.
This is good fodder for the edit because I'm like, wait, what is going to happen? Like, are people getting upset with Joe? Is there just going to be an accidental
maybe long
couple
term
votes?
But not in this vote.
No, there ain't nothing happening in this vote.
No. So we go to tribal. David comes in his tank top, backwards cap, still glaring.
Steely.
He is just chef's kiss to remember. Obsessed with this. Joe, everybody's talking about what they've sacrificed to be here. It's kind of that point in the game. Joe sacrifices time with his kids. Mary's like, I'm here for my mom. I want to like make my mom the woman she once was. Camilla's like, I'm here for my parents. Shaheen's like, I get it. Like, everybody starts crying because they're like, the reality of this game sucks. Like, only one, we all have really good reasons for being here. Only one of us can win. And now we have to vote one of our own out.
Yeah, they honestly do have really good stories with their like parents and
and it's like really these big beautiful stories with immigrant parents and like how much they sacrifice to come here.
And like Shaheen puts it really well of like they went through things we would never imagine, like us here, like we're on a TV show
for $1 million.
I mean, it's really emotional and beautiful, but I was like, this is definitely building to a Mary vote out because Mary does have a really good parental story that we never got the package, like a full package about her parents.
No.
But I was like, this is definitely catering to her.
And she has the moment where she's like, Jeff, I've pitched these people, I don't know how many times, and nothing ever sticks. What is the point now of pitching again? And Shaheen kind of challenges her on that. And he's like, look, you can't give up. Like you have to keep trying. And that's how some people actually win Survivor is they keep trying. They keep pitching because maybe at some point your pitch is going to land with somebody. But not with this group. Shaheen, Kyle, Joe, and Eva are too tight. They are too loyal. It's never going to land.
We don't really get much valuable gameplay in this tribal. I didn't think like these emotional stories are beautiful.
Yeah, but ultimately Eva says it all when she's like, I'm not playing for myself. I'm playing. She doesn't say for 4, but she's playing for the 4.
Yeah.
And Joe agrees with her. Shocker.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the truth of this season. No matter what they try to show us in the edit. And look, I appreciate it because you're trying to make it seem like something else is going to happen. But ultimately, like, I'm kind of feeling like the season is a little boring at the end of the day because this 4 is so strong and the underdogs or the outsiders of this crew couldn't get it together and trust each other enough to really challenge them in a meaningful way. And I think they're just going to slide into the final 4. And then one of them is going to get unlucky at fire making. And then Eva's probably going to win. I think.
I think a lot of people share your sentiment that this is boring. I don't know if I'll ever think Survivor is boring. I have yet to think Survivor is boring. I should say, because yes, do we all want the big group broken up? Absolutely. Do we think it's absolutely appalling that a duo with advantages has not been at least forced to use those advantages? Yes. Absolutely mind blown that this is the choices that are being made. But sorry, that means Joe and Eva are playing the most incredible game.
Yeah.
If you are too scared to make a move, then that means Joe and Eva are great. And so I am watching great Survivor gameplay. So that's just how I don't find it boring, even though they're not doing what I want them to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I guess when I say boring, I mean like, this is not the kind of Survivor that like I like to watch because I like the roller coaster ride.
Understood.
I totally agree that like if they are doing this well, they've done something incredible. It is like so dominant.
Yeah.
But it just isn't that interesting to watch.
Exactly. It is unfortunate for the producers because it does make a little less exciting television, right?
Yeah.
For television's sake, you got to mix it up. People got to be
Where's the big twist? Where's the shock blind side?
Yeah.
Like all those happened early on. In fact, I was like texting with a friend of mine today And they were like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I miss Say. And I'm like, yeah, things were a lot more interesting when Say was around.
was a star.
Yeah.
Say versus Mary was the storyline for half of this series, and then boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
I do feel like that I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, Mary goes home. We tally the votes, and there's one vote for Joe, which thank God somebody finally voted for Joe. And then the rest are for Mary. They're completely united. Even like Mitch and Camilla, they're just like all falling in line. It is just really shocking to see. It is.
It's very shocking.
David gives Mary a standing ovation.
Hold up. What was that? David does a slow get up. And I was like, wait, what's he doing? What's he doing? And he just stands. And of course, still looks angry as anything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't
some
feel
kind of tribute
supportive,
to Mary or something.
Yeah, you have to imagine it's a tribute, but it looks like you're about to beat someone up.
Yeah.
For voting.
Star and Chrissy are like, what do you do? What?
Their faces were the best part of it. Like you're like shocked he's standing.
Literally in Chrissy's way. Like she can't see. And she's just like, oh my God. Camilla's laughing. Shaheen's laughing. Nobody takes him seriously, unfortunately.
That was everyone else's reaction made it so great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
So
you know
funny.
What? Mary does deserve a
also
standing
loved
ovation.
In your exit interview. Mary was like, I didn't even see David.
She missed it. She missed it. But the plus side was she's going to watch herself get voted out. And instead of like sobbing, she's like, what?
Yeah, literally. She's like, that happened? I totally missed it. So funny. So Mary's gone.
Oh, this was the amazing point I was going to make.
Oh, please.
Is that I find it interesting that the audience right now is very unhappy with this season.
There's not a lot they can do.
But I want to know the crossover because I hear a lot of people upset when a lot of advantages are played and they complain about the journeys and how someone goes on a journey and then it totally changes the game because they got an advantage or lost their vote or whatever.
Yeah.
And like none of that is happening. No one's playing an advantage. No one's forcing any advantages. No one's going on getting advantages on journeys. And people are like, oh, it's boring. I'm like, what's the, is it because there's no advantages that y'all are bored, but y'all complain about too many advantages? Explain that to me. I need to hear from you that you think it's boring, but that you love advantages.
Yeah.
Or that I'm right.
You might be.
I might be because I usually am.
Yeah. I just am shocked that like, because I guess I would want to argue that like the advantages still kind of make it boring, even if they're not played. Just the fact that Eva has all of these advantages is like sort of preventing anyone from taking a shot at her. But I'm like, at least take half of a shot and flush something.
Yeah.
They haven't even done that.
What happened to, I think the last couple seasons, I feel like you had an advantage. You were automatically a target. You were automatically.
How many people walked out of the show with an idol in their pocket? You're totally right.
Yeah, because you like, oh, she has an idol. Let's target her, and so we'll at least flush it. Like we've seen that for years.
There should have been a master
and like
blindside
this time, nada. Like that is just bad gameplay.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So if Eva's sitting at the end and beats all of y'all, I can't feel bad for you.
No,
that's on y'all.
Yeah, I do blame the other players more than the producers.
Yeah. So
the preview for next time. Kyle is saying to Joe,
triggering, busy, triggering, no friendship, right?
Oh, Lord. But thank you for the super chat. Next time Kyle says to Joe, don't freak out, but Shaheen flipped. I don't know what on earth that means.
I think that
are you trying to suggest that Shaheen voted Joe and not Mary in the last tribal council? Like, where are you saying Shaheen flipped?
Mary voted for herself.
Yeah. Right.
No, I was like, was there another Joe vote that we missed? No, there wasn't. I went back to check.
I don't know what they're doing.
But I know that Kyle and Camilla are going to get up to some shenanigans at some point. This feels like one of their shenanigans.
I feel like, I guess they think this is the moment to do something.
Oh, this is it. We finally got there.
So I'm like, what do you think that? Because
you don't
if it weren't for that, I'd be like, Mitch is going. Mitch is next in line. Kyle's going to save Camilla somehow, and Mitch is going to go. Obvious. But now I'm like, are Kyle and Camilla going to try something and it's going to backfire on them and one of them is going to go?
Possible. Yep. If it gets back that Kyle is doing anything, Eva, Shaheen, and Joe are automatically going to be against Kyle.
Yeah.
Their shenanigans have to work, but I don't know why throwing Shaheen under the bus is the right.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. But previews tend to be throwing us off the scent. So
agreed.
But honestly, is Mitch going to go next and just stand up when Jeff snuffs his torch and be like, but I didn't trust
I have to say that I believe that the most obvious prediction is going to be right this season.
Yeah, at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I am rooting for the undercover duo more than anybody.
Do something. Why would they show us so much about Kyle and Camilla's secret alliance if it never led to anything?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say, let's talk astrology for a minute. First off, Mary brought up astrology. I didn't bring it up.
Love that.
So I got to talk to her about that. Love that. Absolutely. Second is, obviously, when you see something weird is happening with the season, I'm going to go to astrology. So I did a little bit of research on why the heck these players are playing so horribly right now.
Okay.
And I do have a theory.
Okay.
I'll talk more about it in a different video. I'm going to make a little...
fun. A new astrology update kind of thing.
By the way, I'm on TikTok, y'all. Nerdtainment's on
She's
TikTok.
Going viral on TikTok.
Yeah,
That's the reality.
I don't know what TikTok is, but I finally got over there. I'm gonna put a video over there about the astrology because we are dominated by fixed energy. Chantel's in the chat; she'll get it. Everyone left is fixed, dominant signs. Fixed means you just stick.
You have a plan. You stick to
the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
And the people, you just stick with your people. Very loyal, but you just don't like to change direction. You don't like to change much of anything. Someone else coming up with a new plan just doesn't feel right to you. You like to stick with it. I think that's the problem now. Too many fixed signs. But also, I ran the chart for the final tribal of this season, which happened last year.
Yeah.
And I need more time to do my research, but it looks like one of the players left. It looks very similar to one of their charts, which would very much boost their energy.
I need you to tell me who that is off camera.
Okay, but I need to do more research first. I'll tell everybody if I have more to back that.
Okay.
But I was like, oh my God, this is someone else in this game. So
wow,
that would be interesting.
Interesting.
But TBD on that, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But follow me on TikTok if you guys are over there.
Yeah, you should.
I don't know what TikTok is, and I'm very confused, but my videos are doing well.
Yes. Yep.
So, what else? Next week is
busy.
Yeah.
We have Amazing Race on Monday, recap of the most recent episode. Then I think we already told you this, but Wednesday we are going to recap Survivor right after the episode on Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
And then Thursday we're going to recap the 2-part Amazing Race finale because there's part 1 on Wednesday and then part 2 on Thursday. So 3 lives with us next week.
That's right. We're here for you. So be here with us.
Yes.
Make sure you got all those notifications coming. Yeah, we'll see you guys then. Everyone in the chart, everyone in the natal chart. You guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate.
Yes, and if you're joining us later, let us know how you feel about Mary going home. Do you share my frustration with this season is boring? Do you share Sarah's feeling that this is one of the most dominant, exciting Survivor performances in history? Okay, whatever. You were trying to make a counter argument so that it wasn't boring.
It wasn't boring, but you're right. It's not exciting. Somewhere in the middle.
Either way, let us know your feelings and give us some predictions for the end game here because we are getting down to it.
I don't know about a double eviction next week, Kristen.
Eviction?
Double eviction. She said eviction. I said eviction. A double vote out. I don't know anything about that, but maybe.
Maybe.
I'll look it up. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.